Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us. We appreciate that. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Smoking Jim Frazier, Chip Hayner, we're all here. We appreciate you watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. Thank you for all the Facebook likes. I think I checked it out. 6,897 likes. That's a brand new high. So thank you for all those likes. We appreciate it. I think I got a couple promos here for you. Let's see what we can bring out. Look at that. I hit the tape, Anthony. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 412-831-1900. No pizzas in the studio. We can't eat. We're practicing social distancing and we're masked up. But you can go there, Hillcrest Shopping Center. They have great Italian food, pizza, hoagies, you name it, salads, spaghetti, all kind of pastas. Just tell them Al Levine, the Talking Machine, sent you to Hillcrest Shopping Center, Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Next up, there we go, Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. Can't miss it. Has the trolley right outside the front, the old-time red and white trolley. Check it out. The school's built in 1905, been remodeled. I've told you about the windows, the roof. The bell got moved to the cupola up on the roof. Just a great place. My favorite tea place, Reginald's Coffee. They have great fresh roasted coffee, and they got all kind of loose leaf green tea for the Talking Machine. So check it out. And I think they're supposed to have people inside coming up this week. So check them out there. They're open from about 7 till 2 each day. And go in and see them. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong, the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Poor Joey died at 9 years old before his 10th birthday from a dreaded brain cancer, DIPG. It's a death sentence where they're diagnosed with it. They die within a year, and that's less than what he had. So the family, instead of being upset about it, which they're devastated, they've done a lot of great things in the community, fundraisers. I think they have an event coming up soon. I saw David Fabus the other day at the Market District. He said he wanted to talk to me about something, but he's been busy and I've been waiting. So we'll see what happens there with the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. Donate as little as $1. Check it out. Next up, Bethel Park Community Foundation. They have money for you for your activities you do in the community. They have grant money, $100 to $5,000. We've given out $1 million in 25 years to local organizations and groups in Bethel Park. Go to bpcf.org, get an application. I think we have a meeting before the end of this month. Get that application, come on in. I'm one of the trustees. Just tell them you heard about it on the show. I'll approve you. I guarantee it. Got to stretch a little bit there. Next up, look at that. Dave Cable likes to make fun of me. He put my face on Uncle Sam. And we're all Americans here, so I'm proud to be on Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al, the Talking Machine, wants you for BPTV. We got the Lone Ranger in today, Anthony. He's up here volunteering, set up the cameras, making sure the audio is good so you can hear me. So you could be a volunteer like him. We could use a couple volunteers right now. If you're in high school and you're interested in video and audio and you like different things with cameras, come on in. You can learn the ropes and maybe make a career out of it like Anthony's doing here. So check that out. Next up, we have a sponsor for What's on Your Mind. Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. He's at 6103 Route 88 in Finleyville, about 6 miles away from here. Phone number 724-348-4715. He works on anything and everything that runs on gas. I just had an oil change 2 weeks ago. I was there. Missed the buffet because I had to get it done the middle of the week. They couldn't take me on a Monday. They were too busy. Smoking Jim made it there. It's a great place, Red, White, and Blue Station. They do great work, and I recommend them highly. So just check it out. And they sponsor What's on Your Mind. And we'll go to Smoking Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. If you want the green, you got to see Levine. And I tell you what, man, I just got my car inspected from Skeets.
Oh, you got inspected too. Good.
And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, and Chip, he gave me a rainbow trout. Had to be this big, man. I mean, it was some good eating. He said he got it in the Mon Valley. I didn't know there was nothing fresh in the Mon Valley, man. He found a creek. I never thought I'd eat nothing out of a creek in the Mon Valley. But I tell you what, it was good. He found a secret location. Him and his daughter goes
I know.
every
They
day.
show pictures on Facebook.
6'7" trout. Man, I tell you what, that bad boy was this big. But he.
Did you see how it grew from the last time he showed you?
You know what? I saw it. It was this big.
It was
When
a
I
minnow.
left,
It was a
this
minnow.
big.
Man, the minnow. Next thing you know, it's gonna be a whale.
I ate it right there. He told me to skin it. You know, I skinned it. And I'm glad he warned me. There was bones in there.
Disclaimer.
The last thing you skinned was your knee. All right.
Disclaimer
You
right off the
skinned
bat. Smoking Jim says he's an honest man.
Anybody that has
No, it
any
was
sense
already cooked.
will not trust Jim Frazier
No,
with something sharp.
It was already cool. I was able to do it with my fork, and I just took the skin off. And I tell you what, because I usually eat the skin, but they baked it, man. It was so good, man. It was delicious. Al Levine, the talking machine. Hey,
Yeah.
when we're going to get rid of Juju? I tell you what, Juju's a great player, but he's a buffoon. He was going to do a dance
Yeah.
and spike the ball
Yeah.
on the star
Yeah.
in midfield. Didn't he learn from T.O.? Good thing that they stopped
Excuse me. He doesn't even know who or what T.O. is.
All he cares about is TikTok and social media.
He don't
He's gonna
know
end up
T.O.
causing the Steelers a game. He don't care about nothing but Juju.
He don't know T.O.
Huh?
He don't know T.O.
He got YouTube. He's on social media. Can't
He
you
don't
see?
know. He don't
That would
know.
have been a no-no. He's out there dancing in pregame warm-up.
Yeah.
And he put it on TikTok so all the Cowboys seen it. They knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
As soon as I seen it on TV, I said, oh, no, Juju's going to the star. But
Sure.
anywho.
Is that on your mind or was it something else?
No, there's something else on my mind. And Chip will be proud of me because I got to give two great coaches credit. Mike McCarthy and Coach Mike Tomlin. And I know Chip has got something good things to say about Coach Tomlin. Hey, listen, Mike McCarthy has 127 wins, Super Bowl victory over Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I tell you what, he showed why he's a great coach.
By losing?
They changed their defense to the Chicago 46 defense, and it confused the Steelers. I thought it was the Miami no-name defense because all them guys out there, nobody knew who they were. But I thought number 96, Neville Gilmore, was a combination of the Refrigerator Perry and Richard Dent.
Okay.
He was unbelievable. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talk machine, he's from Canada.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go get Samoans for my football team. Maybe I ought to go get Canadians because we got Chase Claymore and this Gallimore. I tell you what, I guess all the people that tried to get out of the Vietnam War went up to Canada and started making babies. Now their grandkids are great football players. We got to go get him. But
How
I tell
about
you,
some Canadian Samoans?
yeah, yeah. I don't think they have any of them yet. It's hard to defect when you're a 5'8", 414 pound Samoan in a grass skirt. I think they think something is strange.
Go up and make a few.
Yeah. Well, I like a big Samoan woman.
It's a family show, Smoking Jim.
Wouldn't you?
Put up one of your sweeties.
But hey, Dallas Cowboys won the battle of the special teams. You got to admit that. But I tell you what, here's where I give Coach Tomlin credit, and I'm the only one. Everybody said, I'm glad Coach Tomlin lived in his fears. He always said we don't live in our fears. I'm glad he did, because Mike McCarthy, the great coach, seen something with rookie guard Kevin Dotson that they could hook him and get a free block kick up the middle with the Dallas Cowboys. They should have blocked that. If you go back and watch the film, they should have blocked a 59-yarder, but the brother didn't want to hit the ball. He pulled his hand back a little bit. I don't know how he missed it. But Coach Tomlin, he had to, because you can correct that, but you couldn't correct it on game day. That kick would have got blocked, maybe blocked and returned all
How
the way.
about tell the guy to step straight up to the guy and block him?
You couldn't. It was something that they seen that they couldn't correct until they had a week of practice.
I don't
so
believe
the
that.
Dallas Cowboys did an excellent job there. And like I said, I give Coach Tomlin credit for living in his fears, and I give Mike McCarthy credit. And I tell you what, two outstanding Super Bowl winning coaches.
Who won?
Pardon me?
Who won the game?
2 out of the 3.
Who won?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Thank you.
Like Chip said. That's what's on my mind.
All right,
I
thanks.
give him credit.
Thank you. Thank you, Smoking Jim. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
I gotta go here. Okay. In the first place, Mike McCarthy started the season with 125 wins. After 8 games this season, he has 127. Okay? So let's just say that's 2-6. Now, to speak to the Steeler game, and I'm just going to gloss over it because we'll get into this later.
Yeah, we got it at the end.
Complete and utter domination in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. There was never any doubt about it. The Steelers had them all the way.
Go Steelers.
Okay.
Now,
So,
what's on your
What's
mind?
on my mind? Well, everybody knows that, I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to the game of baseball.
Yes, sir.
And some very disturbing things have happened within the last couple of weeks that I just think need to be brought to the forefront here because, not only has baseball been tainted with the cheating scandal,
Yeah.
where the Houston Astros in 2017 cheated to win the World Series. We've had cheating scandals in the National Football League. Bill Belichick has been sanctioned 3 times, yet he's considered the greatest coach of all time. I don't understand how that happens. You've got a laundry list of players that have cheated the game of baseball, and the list is just as long of people that will never get into the Hall of Fame because of their cheating. And that's one of the things that I always admired Major League Baseball for. However, A.J. Hinch was the manager of the Houston Astros. Alex Cora was his bench coach and the architect of the cheating scandal. Okay? Alex Cora took a position as the manager of the Red Sox in 2018 and took the Boston Red Sox to the World Series. I wonder if that was tainted, but we'll get to that later, okay? So both of them were caught up in the Astros cheating scandal. Alex Cora was the architect. A.J. Hinch was I guess you could call him an innocent bystander. Both of them got fired for being part of the cheating scandal and suspended for a year from baseball. Okay? So the Boston Red Sox had a different manager for their team last year. And the Houston Astros hired Dusty Baker to coach their team. Well, not 1 minute after the suspension was lifted, the Detroit Tigers hire A.J. Hinch to be the manager of their team because he is such a shining example of what a manager of a Major League Baseball franchise should be. Okay? Alex Cora now has his job back as the Boston Red Sox manager. What are these 2 men doing in Major League Baseball, and where is the outrage? These guys have been convicted cheaters. They were sanctioned. They should be banned from the game, just like Pete Rose. I don't think the punishment against them should be any less severe. It should be a lifetime ban. And no, but what this will do is ultimately there will be another cheating scandal coming around the bend. They're going to get more creative in it. And we are developing a culture in professional sports now where cheating is more of the accepted norm than it is something that people be outraged by. That's not the way I was taught to love and enjoy sports. And you know what? 2 teams, all sides equal. May the best man win, But when you've got players that are going to cheat, you've got owners that are going to cheat, you've got managers that are willing to cheat, and there's no repercussions for it. Where is the penalty? What's to keep somebody else from cheating in the future?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's
Chip,
what's
the one
on my mind.
question I have before you go on is, why wasn't one player convicted of this? At least one, when a dozen or more were involved in it.
Because the commissioner of baseball has no spine.
Thank you. And
Go
Smoking
ahead.
Jim, if you don't say you ain't cheating, you ain't trying if you ain't cheating. Go ahead.
What I was going to say is it true that the former L.A. Dodger manager is back in baseball? Tommy Lasorda?
No, that is not Tommy Lasorda.
Don Mattingly.
No. Tony La Russa.
Yeah.
Tony La Russa is at 76 years old is now manager of the Chicago White Sox, where he got his start.
That's
Yeah.
2 different people.
They look different,
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
Tony
They
La
have different
Russa. Tony La
birthdays.
Russa
They have
won,
different birthdays,
won
too.
world championships with the Oakland A's, and he won world championships with the St. Louis Cardinals. And prior to his job as the A's manager, he was a manager of the Chicago White Sox. That's where he got his start as a manager in 1979.
And he likes to drink a little bit, huh?
I have no idea what he does personally.
Well, he had in February of this year, he had a DUI, and they just charged him one day before he got hired. So it's a little strange.
He told the police, he said, look at this ring, I'm a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You got to love that.
Right.
Oh, and one other thing.
Go ahead.
Jim, and this is out of Smoking Jim's mouth. And he's always been critical of Coach Tomlin.
Yeah.
But if you listen to roll the tape back to last week, what did Smoking Jim have to say about Mike Tomlin when he passed Tony Dungy for the most wins by an African-American head coach?
Black.
Jim Frazier rubber stamped Mike Tomlin's ticket into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because if Tony Dungy is a Hall of Fame head coach with 1 Super Bowl win, Mike Tomlin with more wins and 2 trips to the Super Bowl, 1 win and 1 loss, he's a shoo-in for the Hall of Fame.
According to the rules.
So as much as we want to criticize decisions he makes, whether he chose to kick a field goal or whether he, did this or that or the other thing, think of the problems that us as Steeler fans have. For the last 51 years, we've had 3 head coaches. All of them are going to be in Canton. Nice problem to have.
Smoking Jim Frazier.
Don't you think it would be a nice gesture if Coach Tomlin would get Big Ben to introduce him into the Hall of Fame, since he rode Big Ben's coattail for all of his years here?
Okay, so don't you think that Bill Belichick should have Tom Brady? Because Bill Belichick rode the coattails of Tom Brady, because without Tom Brady, where is he?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're apples to apples, right?
That's two examples.
Are you 2 done?
No,
Glad-
but you can go ahead.
Thank you, Chip. I appreciate that. What's on my mind is I was cleaning up a closet. I have different things moving over the years, boxes, so I got rid of boxes. And I got this picture. I don't know if you can pull it up at all, Anthony, on this, or if we could go to the...
He moved the camera.
If we could go to the side camera.
He's got it
Oh, we
right
can
there.
see it. That looks pretty good. I'm looking at it.
Who's that?
This is Pie Trainer.
Oh,
He was
man.
a great Pirate player. He was
Yeah.
born, how about I find it today? He was born November 11th, 1898. He gave it to me.
Really?
Says
In 1968.
to Allen.
It's to Allen. I'll share it. Get your
That's
glasses
a lot
on.
of money.
He died March 16th, 1972. He debuted with the Pirates September 15th, 1920. He retired August 14th, 1937. He was the Pirates player manager in 1934, and he lasted until 1939. He even won a pennant. He had a career batting average, you'll like this, Chip, 320. He hit 2,416 hits. His fielding percentage when he retired was .946. He led the league 1 year as a third baseman with a fielding percentage. I didn't get that. He hit over 300, Smoking Jim. You say how easy it is?
Yes.
He hit it 10 times in his career.
Oh, yeah.
And that's way back then. Rogers Hornsby told him in his second year, he goes, go to a heavier bat. Pie Trainer took him up on it and hit 300 ever since he went to the heavier bat. So that's what they do. Today they got the long, skinny, light bats. He had the heavy bats.
Yeah, and they strike out 200 times a season.
Exactly, and he had 7 seasons. He drove in over 100 runs. He had 208 hits, which is a Pirate record in 1923. His record stood until, Chip knows this guy, Jack Wilson, hit 201 hits in 2004. But that's how long it lasted. His 1,863 games at third base stood until 1960, till a guy named Yost beat him on that. He managed the Pirates, like I said, from 34 to 39, won a pennant in 38. He hurt his shoulder in an accident at the plate. He stole home plate once. 1925 World Series, Smoking Jimmy hit 346. And there's a Hall of Fame pitcher who became one, Walter Johnson, Big Train. He hit a home run off of him during that series.
Big Train was a hard thrower, boy.
Yeah, and then he was back in the World Series in 27 against the Yankees when the Murderers Row knocked them out
Swept
in 4
them
games.
in 4 games,
Yeah.
yep.
And in 1999, he was ranked number 70 of top 100 greatest ball players. So there's a guy from 1920 on. What a star he was. After he retired, he became sports director of a local radio station for 21 years. Retired 1965. He's famous for saying this advertisement, who can?
American.
American Heating and Cooling.
Was that him?
That was him.
Yep.
He was legendary. He did that during wrestling and other things too.
Yeah,
who can?
American.
He died and was buried in Homewood Cemetery in 1972.
Who can? Mexican.
I said American too. That's where I said I couldn't let it go. But that's one of my boyhood heroes. Got to meet him in person. Pie Trainer. Thanks for letting me share that with you guys and girls.
Man, that's great.
And we'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, my man Chip. On the ones and two, the man with not a hair out of place, making us look good, Anthony.
Hey, and thanks for putting Master Zhang breaking that board over my head 4 years ago,
That
Anthony.
was scary.
March 16th, 2016. I'll never forget that day. It was exciting. No flinch.
No flinch. You ate the whole time. No fear.
No.
No fear.
No.
You didn't live in your fears that day.
I don't believe in that. But all I care about's a W for Steelers. Go Steelers.
But hey, what's on my mind is P. Diddy.
No, fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Got to talk about P. Diddy, better known as Paris Ford. I tell you what, I never thought the kid was a quitter. I've been hearing about
Good guest on our show.
Guest on our show. I've been hearing about this young man since he was in elementary school. This is a guy, they called him P. Diddy, probably the greatest elementary basketball player since B.B. Flannery.
Wow.
And, B.B. scored 81 points when he was in 8th grade on 8th grade team.
I remember seeing BB play.
Football, basketball, that's all you heard in the inner city. Played up in Garfield where they used to steal cars, and I would go back and get my car after it got stolen. I knew it was in Garfield. But Garfield's changed a lot, but they called them the Swamp. And the Garfield Gators, they nicknamed
Yeah,
themselves
legendary.
after the Gateway Gators. And Coach Mike Tomlin, his kids played and everything.
How'd they do in the playoffs?
The defending champs went down, but hey, Harris Ford quit on his teammates. I seen the preseason mock draft. Some people had him going as high as 15th in the draft.
Wow.
I never thought he quit on his team, but then again, this is a kid that went to 3 different high schools when he was coming up through school. So he quit on his team back then. The season, halfway through the season, you know, he's team captain, he's the leader of the defense, and then he's going to all of a sudden opt out after all that time with his teammates. Hey, listen, great athlete. Man, he can do it all at free safety. You know, he's a hitter. He's a hard worker. I mean, his dad told me 2 years ago, and his dad's still a little mad at me because his dad averaged 32 points a game in high school for Shinley. I put him in the Hall of Fame, but he thought he should have went earlier than when we went in.
Sure.
But his dad told me they was going to transfer him when he didn't play his first couple years at Pitt. He didn't really start. But they hung in there. He ended up being all-world at Pitt last year. He was all-world again this year on the losing team. They're starting to win now.
Yeah, but Smoking Jim, from how they started out beating ladies of the poor and then losing, maybe this kid's very competitive, which we know.
Yes.
Maybe it took the heart out of him when he saw what was going on.
You're exactly right. He's a quitter.
Yeah.
He's a quitter. And I tell you what, man, if I'm an NFL general manager, and I know they will draft him, he's probably going to drop into the 2nd or 3rd round. He's out of the 1st round, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I wouldn't take him in any round. When you quit on your team like that, there's no way that, and I know, Chip, you being from Baldwin, the Pittsburgh Sportsline is the first winning team you've been on. But we're teammates now, brother. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? We all play sports. We ain't gonna quit on our team. So, I love it.
You got me. You got me.
I'm gonna take.
I'm not even bringing up about KO.
I'm gonna take a lot of heat in the hood because he's a
Baldwin couldn't even win with Don Yanessa.
Yeah.
They spirited him away from Aliquippa.
He was legendary.
He didn't do a blessed thing.
That's on my mind. I can't believe he.
Oh, and just to speak to what Jim was talking about, the replacement, and I don't know what the young man's name, who took Paris Ford's place last week, won ACC Defensive Player of the Week.
Really? I didn't know that. Good victory against Florida State, and I'm predicting Pitt will beat Georgia Tech.
Wow. You heard it here first.
Pitt's got, 3 games left? They've got Georgia Tech. They've got...
they need to win out?
Well, that ain't going to happen.
They
got Clemson.
Back to Detroit for that bowl game in Detroit.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, I'm not a fan of Danucci, that's all.
Yeah.
With the way this college football season is, Penn State's going to be bowl eligible.
0-3.
Hey, Smoking Jim, I got a bone to pick with
How
you.
about my Fighting Irish?
No, how about Penn State? Who beat them? What team?
I don't know.
Maryland.
Did they? Wow.
Beat them.
Wow.
And you told me Maryland don't have any players.
Yeah.
But now they got Tomlin's son.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Is he player coach? Is he on the sidelines with a cap?
He wasn't even there.
Is he on the clipboard?
He's doing the Zoom conference after the game.
All right. Thank you, Smoking Jim.
Hey,
we'll
by
move
the
on.
way, his youngest son got a full scholarship to Columbia.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Well, I heard he's smart.
I never heard that.
I did.
I never heard that.
I bet you he reads books.
But he's a rapper. He wants to be a rapper.
I heard that through the grapevine. I know some City League teachers, and they said, what a nice kid. He was small.
He wants to be a rapper, and his dad told him, you're going to get an education.
Yeah, they said he's a small kid.
Candy bars have rappers.
His second son's a small kid.
Yeah.
But he's a smart kid, very artistic.
He's really good in basketball. But if his last name wasn't Tomlin, would he have a scholarship?
Yeah. We'll look into that, Smoking Jim.
Funny what money could do for you.
All right, let's move on. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everybody. And, I was talking a few weeks ago about all of the Hall of Fame baseball players, of players that Alan and I
Yeah.
watched and loved and idolized growing up. And how many of them passed this year in 2020.
Oh.
And I got to thinking this afternoon, as I was trying to put together some thoughts for tonight. And I was trying to think of which of these players really do I feel impacted the game. And they all impacted the game in their own way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, from Bob Gibson to Whitey Ford. And
Whitey Ford died?
Yeah, you found that out last week.
The chairman of the board. He and Frank Sinatra. Okay, so I was thinking of another player who most people, especially my dear friend Jim Frazier, recognize him as an announcer, but not as one of the greatest second basemen to ever play the game, if not the. Okay?
Yeah.
And that honor goes to Joe Leonard Morgan. He was born on September 19th of 1943, and he died October 11th. He was an American professional baseball second baseman who played Major League Baseball for the Astros, the Cincinnati Reds, the San Francisco Giants, the Phillies, and the Oakland A's from 1963 to 1984. He won 2 World Series championships with the Reds in 75 and 76 and was also named National League Most Valuable Player in each of those years. Considered one of the greatest second basemen of all time, Morgan was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1990. And one of the things that I do remember about the Big Red Machine, which was one of the strongest teams of the mid-'70s, and there was a number of very, very, very good teams in the 70s. You had the Baltimore Orioles, who were perennial playoff contenders. You had the Oakland A's that won 3 consecutive World Series. Then you had the Big Red Machine that won World Series championships in 75 and 76. And you had the Pittsburgh Pirates that bookended the decade by winning a championship at the beginning and at the end. So
it's a shame Smoking Jim missed all that.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, sorry.
So, just a couple of things to, career highlights and awards for Joe Morgan. He was a 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series championship, 2 times National League MVP, 5-time Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger Award winner in 1982. After retiring as an active player, Morgan became a broadcaster, but this is something that, I think Jim can relate to. Morgan was black and the oldest of 6 children, born in Bonham, Texas. He lived there until he was 5 years old. His family then moved to Oakland, California. Morgan was nicknamed Little Joe for his diminutive 5'7" stature. He was a standout baseball player, and he signed originally in 1962 for a $3,000 bonus and $500 per month salary with the Houston Colt 45s,
Wow.
who were the predecessor to the Astros. He was traded in 1971 to an epoch-making deal for Cincinnati, although at the time many experts felt the Astros got the better end of the deal. Power-hitting Lee May, all-star second baseman Tommy Helms, and outfielder, pinch hitter Jimmy Stewart went to the Astros. In addition to Morgan, included in the deal to the Reds were Cesar Geronimo, who became their regular right fielder and then their center fielder, starting pitcher Jack Billingham, veteran infielder Dennis Menke, and minor league outfielder Ed Armbruster. Morgan joined leadoff hitter Pete Rose as prolific catalyst at the top of the Reds lineup. Morgan added home run power, not always displayed with the Astros in the cavernous Astrodome. As part of the Big Red Machine, Morgan made 8 consecutive All-Star Game appearances from 72 to 79, to go along with his appearances in 66 and 1970 with Houston. Morgan, along with teammates Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez, Dave Concepcion, led the Reds to consecutive championships. He drove in Ken Griffey for the winning run in Game 7 of the 1975 World Series.
And that's senior.
Yes, it was. Morgan was all, and where was Ken Griffey from? No less than Denora.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
trout.
same
With
town.
Stan Musial.
Same town as Stan Musial.
Good trout.
He was the first second baseman in the history of the National League to win back-to-back MVP awards. In Morgan's National League MVP years, he combined, this is a 2-year combined total, of a .324 batting average, 44 home runs, 205 runs batted in, 246 base on balls, and 127 stolen bases.
Good year.
Morgan was an extremely
2 years.
capable hitter, especially in clutch situations. While his lifetime average was only .271, he hit between .288 and .327 during his peak years at the Reds. Additionally, he drew many walks, resulting in an excellent on-base percentage of .392. He also hit 268 home runs to go with his 449 doubles, 96 triples. Excellent power for a middle infielder of this era, and was considered by some the finest base stealer of his generation. 689 steals at a greater than 80% success rate.
How many singles?
Not as many as the guy who'll never get in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose.
But you
Led
know,
everybody with singles.
of the second baseman that I've seen
Great
played the
single
game in
man.
my life, you know, Joe Morgan was probably the complete package. But I still believe that nobody ever turned the double play as well as Bill Mazeroski did.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe he set the record, major league record for most double plays in a career.
Yeah.
But in every other statistical category, in my mind's eye, Little Joe made it go.
And he was a clutch hitter, too.
Very
clutch.
He did it all.
Yeah.
And if you remember his batting stance, how he flapped
Yeah, he had
his
the wing.
backyard,
We used to
because
kid-
he did that so that he would keep the bat up and he wouldn't try to uppercut.
We had some
He'd
kids
swing
in
through
Little
the ball.
League and Pony League would flip that wing. Smoking. What's your comment
I
now?
don't remember that wing. I don't remember.
Anybody that watched baseball would know it, so that proves my point, folks. He never watched
I
baseball.
remember once on the cover of Sports Illustrated, during his MVP season, Sports Illustrated said, "Little Joe makes the Big Reds go."
Yeah.
Say it ain't so, Joe, but
No, that was Shoeless Joe.
but let me ask you guys this: what's the biggest difference between a shortstop and a second baseman?
Their
And
position.
can second basemen play shortstop?
Okay,
Can they-
I'll
are they
tell you
interchangeable?
what the difference between them is. Your shortstop will traditionally have the stronger arm because it's a longer throw from deep in the hole at short than it is to throw from second base to first.
I always thought Mazeroski was a shortstop, but he's a
He was a second baseman.
Well, you didn't really watch or see him play, so that's understandable.
Various Pirate shortstops at that time were Gene Alley, Jackie
Yeah.
Hernandez.
Gene Alley was exceptional.
Yeah. Oh, and Mazeroski was just a wizard. He taught Neil Walker how to turn the
I
double play.
remember
Did
that.
he?
Yeah, he coached him. He coached him up. He passed it on, buddy. He's not like you, keeping it among yourself.
He's the one that also, he still spends time down at spring training. He's been working with Adam Frazier,
Yeah.
your
That's a
namesake.
good one. That's a good one to work with.
Well, Frazier
Bill
listens.
Mazeroski.
Unlike you, Frazier listens.
But to answer your question, you've usually your shortstop. Generally, your best
Wide
athlete on the
range.
team
Wider range.
is usually your shortstop, and then your second best athlete on the team is usually your center fielder, because you got to be strong up the middle. But the shortstop of your infielders probably has got the strongest arm.
Yeah, and they're pretty fast. Usually they got some speed too.
Hence, the best athlete on the field.
Yeah,
Usually.
definitely. Makes sense. Thanks, Chipper, on that. You broke it down for us. Nothing on location. With this COVID and all that, not too many people are interested in trying to bring crowds into their place. So we're open for that. Maybe a gym or two we could go and practice some social distancing. Smoking Jim's practicing his Joe Morgan chicken wing. He never saw Joe Morgan. All you guys that are older like me and Chip, you can't miss a guy that goes,
And what the reason they had him doing that, because he had a tendency to dip his elbow and uppercut
kept
his
it up,
swing,
and keep your
and he
arms up.
wasn't making good contact with the ball. So they, by holding that elbow up and flapping it like that, he had a more level swing to the ball, and he was able
here's
to hit
Smoking Jim.
with power.
That just went right over.
I used to hold the bat up like this.
You never held a bat. Well, that's it for On Location. You know, we'll have an On Location show whenever we can. We're looking forward to the future of that, so we'll see what happens. But stay tuned for that. We're going to come back with some Steeler talk and close this out. 8-0, baby. Steelers. What could we say? We got naysayers, yay-sayers. I'm with Chip on this. 8-0 means everything. Nobody expected them to be 8-0. We had things fall the right way.
And I will tell you this. You know, all anybody was doing the first 5 games, let's rip on Minkah Fitzpatrick. But all he has done is what he picked up the torch from where he left off last year. The last 3 games, he's made big plays in each of the games, knocked down the pass at the end of the game, last 2 games in a row. 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery this past week, a pick 6 against the Ravens. Minkah Fitzpatrick is showing up, and I really don't think he's doing a whole lot different than he's been doing all year, but now he's making an impact. The Steelers' defense, bend, don't break. Once again, they got gouged for rushing, 170 yards rushing, and the Steelers' running game was abysmal at best. 46 yards rushing against the 32nd rushing defense in the NFL.
Chip, on that point alone, I was shocked at the lack of runnability that we had. They overwhelmed us with, like Smoke and Jim said, the Chicago 4-6.
Well, and here's take it into account that, you know what, the guys that wear those blue stars on their helmets, they're professional athletes and they're getting paid and they have a lot of pride.
Yeah.
And they've been humiliated. Utterly humiliated
everywhere.
And you know, what do you do when you get backed into a corner? Do you quit or do you come back out fighting? They came out fighting, and they gave the Steelers everything they had.
And more.
The only thing that they didn't have that the Steelers had was Ben Roethlisberger. I think Ben won the game again in the second half.
Yeah.
But without the defense making plays, he wouldn't have had a chance to do that.
See, Chip said it best. Chip said the only reason Dallas Cowboys didn't win the game is because Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, didn't play, and I agree with you.
No, he didn't say Andy Dalton. He didn't say Andy Dalton. How did you put that in there?
But how you know, here's what you have to understand. You know, because of the inexperience of the quarterback that they had, you know, I mean, if you would have had a more experienced quarterback in it, the Steelers could have very easily gotten to a point where they were behind far enough, but they were always within. I mean, they were never more than 10 down. Or was it 13-0 to start?
Yeah.
You know, but
look at how they came back right before the half.
Yeah,
how did that happen
there? They got
there?
the score right before half to cut it to 6. They missed the extra point.
Right. Yeah, and then on Dallas's, and I heard a lot of people saying on that last drive where Ben threw that touchdown pass to Abram, that the referees gave that game to the Steelers. Well, I saw the penalties, and for once they called them. But how many times has those penalties gone against us?
I thought it was so unusual that we got the calls that were legit.
That one call against Roethlisberger when that guy came down with the hand right on his face mask. I mean,
he never gets that call.
He never got that. I mean, when Halati Noda broke his nose.
Yeah.
And there was no penalty, and his nose was on the other side of his face.
I think because Ben's down in some weight, that he doesn't look as big as the linemen.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I think. The referees.
Well, that was all short.
Yeah, they judge that. The referees look at the size. Oh, Big Ben's 320.
So now let's go. You know, because Jim took me to task before we came on the air. So now the Steelers have been bitten by the COVID bug. They've got one player and one staff member that have tested positive.
Right.
Okay. So here is my question, and I heard Mike Tomlin speak to this, and this is not so much a product of, well, look at the Steelers. This is the NFL's problem, because here is a player who is sick on Friday, could not come in to work. But, you know, he had not yet tested positive. He tested negative.
On Saturday.
And he said, I don't have any symptoms. Was he being truthful and honest? I doubt it. Okay.
He did what's
No, and then they allowed him on the plane with the rest of his teammates. So now we have
It's all
4
Steelers.
other players that are now in quarantine
Yeah.
who still will be able to play this weekend,
If
provided they
test
test negative. But, this is the problem with the whole, the NFL's main concern is playing these football games. Because
Here,
right
no,
now,
here.
without
Money.
fans in the stands,
Money.
the NFL is going to lose $3 billion. Now, this is the thing that I find most amusing. So they talked about how much money Major League Baseball lost.
Yeah.
Well, they still made money this year. And the NFL is making money this year. They're not making as much. So when they talk about how much money they're losing, I'm calling BS because they're making money. They're just not making as much.
Right.
And the only thing these owners really care about is,
Money.
7, 8 zeros. They want to keep making their money, and they're going to play these games, and they don't really care. I pray that Vance McDonald gets through this, and I pray that nobody else tests positive.
Right.
But what happens if, as they're testing Ben, as you move through the week, and say gets to Friday and he tests positive? The Steelers
out.
are in a world of hurt without Ben Roethlisberger as quarterback.
Well, again, you Steeler fans won't put the blame where it's at. You want to blame the NFL, you want to blame this, you want to blame that. I said before, when everybody was getting on Tennessee, I said, if the President of the United States can get it in Cleveland, anybody can get it. Anybody can get, there's no protocol, there's no nothing. You can do everything right. I think Vance McDonald was doing everything right. The Steelers' problem is they thought they needed Vance McDonald, who ain't caught nothing but COVID all year. Why would you, if he's sick on Friday and he can't work, keep him home? Not only did you send him to Dallas, you sit him next to your franchise quarterback, and now you put him around the team, and they play the game, and now the guy tests positive. He had a staff member already that test positive.
Okay.
Last week, they hush that.
So-
That's all on the Steelers. It's
No,
not
no,
on
no,
the
no, no,
NFL.
no. Because what you're just setting there is a bad precedent. Because if that is the case, what happens if it was Ben Roethlisberger that didn't
It
feel
wasn't
good?
Ben.
No, I'm saying, do you have to hold everybody to the same standard?
No.
No,
Ben's
oh,
different.
no.
Ben's special.
The standards are the same for everybody.
No.
So
No.
if you're going to do that to your tight end who hasn't caught anything but COVID all year, then you have to do that to TJ Watt. You have to do that to Ben Roethlisberger. No, because if let's not be hypocrisy. Okay, that's hypocrisy, Jim.
No, see.
No, that has the same thing has to stand
Let me
true
explain.
for Pat Mahomes. No, because I just shot your theory into play.
Can I
So that's
explain?
not on the
Can I
Steelers.
explain? If Ben, you treat Ben different because if Ben affects 20 guys on the team, then you just postpone games until they get better. But you don't need Vance McDonald to win the game. Keep him home. Keep the staff member home.
So
TJ Watt and Ben is two
No,
different.
see-
Hey, they're two different animals, bro. We need them.
once again, we see a very well thought out plan and a solution to the problem here. So let's get into another subject now.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the Gateway Gators
Oh,
took a dump against the
who ever heard of Peters?
Peters Township.
I showed him the high school
he
last
showed
year.
him the high school, and Peters Township beat them. And what's the first thing that Jim says to me when I ask him what happened?
An excuse.
Last Saturday morning at 5:30 a.m.,
Some
I shoot
excuse.
Jim a text, and he said one 4-letter word: refs.
It's an excuse. No. How's it an excuse?
You know what? Those young men from Peters Township made one more play than the Gators did.
1 point win, huh?
You know what?
all
Peters
it takes.
Township, I wanted to share this with you guys. They got good karma because I brought you and me to their high school. So they got good karma from
put the
Pittsburgh
shirts on.
Sportsline.
So how about
Yeah,
how
I did
about
it the
how-
Gateway.
How about Central Catholic and North Allegheny
Who won
playing
that
for the
one?
champion?
Yeah.
Central Catholic.
More recruits, huh?
That's it.
They're allowed.
That's it, man.
But you know who's a good football player?
No.
Remember Darnell Dinkins, DJ Dinkins?
Yes.
Yeah.
His son is out. He's going to Penn State. He plays for North Allegheny. He got good overnight, man. He's unstoppable. He's
Really?
unbelievable.
Is he big
yeah.
like his dad?
Yeah, he's big. He wants to play tight end. I don't know but he runs the ball. He does everything. But he's thick. He looked like he could be Chuck Sanders.
Really?
Ground Chuck. Yeah, remember how big Chuck
Yeah, I
was?
remember.
Yeah.
He
that's
slimmed
what
down a
he
little at
looked like.
Savoy.
Huh?
He slimmed down a little at Savoy.
Yeah. He big boy, man.
No, you're right.
He can play in the NFL right now.
So we've got a slew of championship games going on this weekend, right? High school football games being played.
I stopped following it after Saturday. But I'm doing the City League games.
Are you?
Yeah, hopefully.
So you've got Westinghouse and
Alderdice.
Where are they
Alderdice going
playing
at it
it?
for the championship.
At I think that's South Stadium. I think.
Couple
Right.
Stadium.
Yeah, I think
George
so.
Couples.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you'll be doing the games.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just got the word.
The House is undefeated.
Are they really?
Yeah, I believe they
didn't
are.
know
I think
that.
Alderdice has one loss.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And Brashear,
Bulldogs,
the best team in the city this year would have been Brashear.
but they lost.
But no, they lost before the season. Remember down there across from PNC Park, that Marriott hotel, where that 17-year-old kid fired 17 shots at somebody? That was their quarterback. So
You're kidding.
yeah, he was great, man. He had a better aim with the ball than he did with the gun. 17 missed shots, man. 17 rounds. But
Wow.
this guy
That's
could have went
terrible.
anywhere. He was an all-world quarterback. He was a baby Major Harris. And now he's playing for the longest yard.
Get out. Wow, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
17.
How's that
Yeah.
even happen?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
shame. They're the one city.
that is sad to hear. So we've got the Cincinnati Bengals coming into town. It'll be good to see what one of the future stars of the AFC North, Joe Burrows.
I like him.
And from
I
what
like
I
what he's
understand, I have not seen him play in the
I've
pros.
seen him a couple times.
And people were saying that he's the real deal. The only problem is he doesn't have an offensive line.
No.
And I think the young man's going to be like meat to the Steelers defense because if you noticed the Steelers defense last week were just a quarter of a tick away from hitting a quarterback last week. And I'll tell you what, the Steelers defense they can rush the quarterback.
They get out.
Tyson
TJ Watt.
Alualu is supposed to be back this
TJ
week.
Watt was so close so
Mike
many
Hilton?
times.
A tick,
Besides
tick.
being held, he's being held like James Harrison was all the time.
Well, I tell you what. Have you ever seen a picture of Joe Burrows?
Yes.
He looks just like the kid from Home Alone.
No.
He look, don't he?
He's taller.
What is he, like 6'6"?
Yeah.
He about six. I look about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". He's not that tall.
He got some size
He
to
got-
him,
he
and he
got a
can
nice
run.
arm,
He can
but
run.
He don't make good decisions. Ohio State don't play white quarterbacks. He went to Ohio State. They ain't played a white quarterback in 20 years
They kicked
since
him
Art
out.
Sleester. Even Art Sleester bet he wouldn't play. But I was proud of
And he
him
won
for
that bet.
transferring because he went to LSU and set records that will never be broken. 60 touchdowns in one season?
And he likes eating crawfish down there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But he was smoking cigars after
Crawfish.
the championship game.
And he
liked
seems-
cigars.
he
OBJ,
seems-
OBJ get him a few $100 bills.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. shit.
Yeah,
Good memory. I forgot about that.
OBJ
He
has
kept
been
that money,
banned.
too.
He's been banned from LSU football for 2 years.
Unbelievable.
Oops.
I predict Steelers win with Big Ben.
Yep.
If Big
Yeah.
Ben's not there, it could be a little shaky.
Yeah.
Well,
If
Mason Rudolph
Duck's there, I say they lose.
Well, Mason Rudolph completed 3 passes for -2 yards. So on that.
And your
59
point
yard
is,
field
and your
goal.
point is, NFL scout, Steelers scout.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
of the above.
Remember, he had a first-round grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ben's going to play a few more years when he
Give me-
sees what's behind him.
Give me the duck.
Forget the
But
duck.
Ben got 2 bad knees. He
No,
hurt one
just
knee
one.
and he said the other one's bad.
Well, when has he ever told the truth like you do?
The drama queen.
He hasn't
You
told
know?
the truth.
Yeah.
Just like he's drawing up plays in the dirt. Every coach
He's
said
going to leave
no
his
plays.
walker on the sideline and jog out and throw touchdown passes.
Yeah, and what happened to those plays in the dirt that nobody saw that? Nobody. Oh, well. Hey, thanks for watching the show. Hopefully we entertained you. Thanks to Smoking Jim Fraser, Chip Hayner. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Please stay Joey strong.